this, not mid game. This is the first time we've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen in other games where, sometimes the private servers people can't join because they don't have people added and all some technical difficulties. But I mean, like you said, nothing like this before. Where just the game just stops in the middle. As that's going to be an overthrown pass. But I mean, does this is this even counting? I mean, what's going on here? Is this? I mean, they're not even on the right yard line. This Are they just going to start on the 20 and just keep going with this, or what's going on?
Uh, that's it. I guess that's how it's just gonna continue to go. Um,
What a weird change in the game because, I mean, the Steelers don't even have their QB. I mean, this is a different QB than what they've had all game. He's going to throw it up, and it's going to be an absolute moss by the wide receiver to save the QB there on that pass.
I mean, this also affects the stats. The stats rewind. All past stats are gone as this is a new server, so we don't get the real stats of the game. We get, from the technical difficulty until the game ends. That's what we end up getting. The QB will decide to rush here. He's gonna die from extra yardage, but he will not end up getting the goal line.
He's going to get some good yards there. I mean, with this being a 5v5 now or 6v4, whatever it looks like is going on there, I mean, I think that gives the opportunity for the quarterback to run better because it's less crammed, less people everywhere. So, I mean, I think we're going to see a little bit more of the run with the QB. I mean, or at least in my opinion, what they should do here. I think that's the better opportunity to score here. But again, all of this just being interesting is now they're going to get their regular QB in here. Again, after all these technical difficulties, I mean, they're back down at the 8 yard line on a 3rd and 3, and that's going to be overthrown again. I mean, we have seen so many overthrown passes by the Steelers quarterback on short passes so far this game, at least five. And I mean, those are crucial passes that you need to connect on. As he's going to roll out to the outside, look around. He's going to throw it short, and that's going to be caught for the Steeler touchdown. 87, which is J.S. Grav, is going to again make the big plays. He has made at least three receiving touchdowns this game and just good rushing and has made just so many big plays this game so far. I mean, just he's he's been everything for the Steelers team. He's the guy they've gone to a lot this game when they needed him the most.
The
They're gonna go for to
Buffalo
get their
offense really
hopes.
needs to turn things around so far. Look, they just let up another 2 point conversion. They really need to get their rhythm back. Uh, and they can't really use the difficulties as an excuse. I mean, they lost the rhythm before it, and they just need to step it up. It's after half. At this point, they need 2 touchdowns to
I
just
mean, if
get
any,
a little glimpse of hope.
I mean, if anything, the Bills, the game restarting was the Bills' chance because I mean, the Steelers didn't even start from the 7 yard line like where they left off, but they still capitalized and scored there. The QB could have taken that himself, but he's gonna go deep and almost be magged by the wide receiver, but that's just gonna be a little bit over. I mean, the short run, sorry, was wide open there. I mean, right here, it's wide open. He could take a run right now if he wanted to, but he's going to dump it off short, and that's going to be some good yards there. Good play. He's almost going to break some ankles and take it for a touchdown, but that's just going to be a nice 38-yard gain. The Bills need a change in pace. They need to score quickly. They need to fix their defense,
Looking
and
for a touchdown
he's going
pass,
to
and they
throw
will
it
get
up.
it. They'll get a touchdown.
Wow, I mean that is what the Bills needed. That really is. They were struggling on offense, and that's the big play they needed. It looks like they're getting it rolling because I mean, when the other touchdowns we've seen, they've been having to force themselves to run, but this just looked like a dominant drive that they just controlled the ball themselves and did what they wanted to do. And the QB really stepped up there and threw some good passes.
Yeah, I do believe that the backup QB, if it is a backup QB, um, was able to drive that ball down the field better enough for a touchdown. Um, so yeah.
The Bills are still in this game. One stop, and the Bills have put themselves back in this game. One stop, and then a score. And I mean, we have a tie ball game. This could come down to the wire. You never know. We haven't seen very many come down to the wire games at all, if any. I mean, a lot of the games so far in this league have been either a blowout or about like a two touchdown or three touchdown win. And that's going to be a big sack by the Bills. I mean, that's a big loss. Wow. I
Yeah,
mean,
like you
let
mentioned, there haven't been a lot of close games in this league. The one that comes to mind is the week two Dallas versus Green Bay game that ended up 64-50. A two touchdown lead led the Dallas Cowboys to their victory, but even then it was a close game all up till the ending of the fourth quarter. So there, other than that, they've been more than a touchdown away. One of the most notable blowouts was the Kansas City versus Baltimore Ravens. Kansas City blowing out Ravens 42-0. So yeah, a lot of very high scoring games that go one way or another.
Wow, and the Bills might be catching a rhythm here as they get a huge stop that they needed coming off of that sack by number 8 on the Bills. He made a huge sack there, made a 21-yard loss, and that forced the Steelers to try and go for a little bit of a deeper pass, and they just couldn't connect on some of them. And man, the Bills got a crucial stop there. Let's see if they can capitalize on that and tie this game back up.
QB has a very good chance to run to get that minimum of oh,
He
he's
has a
looking for a touchdown
oh,
pass. Oh, get
that's
that
a
touchdown
really
pass.
wow. Good play by the Bills. They had a man, if you watch the replay, he had a man wide open on the left side in the end zone. If you look
Oh,
deep
you're
on the left
correct.
corner, there's a man wide open.
Can we just
And
take note of that Pittsburgh defense? That player stood there and left him, to just rush it in. I mean, he was following him all the way until he made that cut where the ball was thrown. He catches the ball, gets a touchdown. That Pittsburgh defensive player just stood there and did nothing. So that's kind of like the little plays, the little details that really can mess up a game. So
it
far,
seems
Pittsburgh and Buffalo have tied up because of that, and it's Pittsburgh ball.
it seems like with the less players that the Steelers defense can't pick up those missing spots. And even though it may not be that much of an uneven matchup, it's more of the fact that they're just not they have less players covering everywhere and they're not knowing their own responsibilities of where to cover. Is there going to be a sack on the first play of the Steelers? Another sack that the Bills have gotten, and that's going to be incomplete. We haven't really seen that from any Steelers quarterback, but of course we don't have the regular one, but now we're going to get their starter. Interesting that they've been kind of moving around with QB. I don't know, Michael, what's going on in any
Pop.
difficulties. Oh, that was a huge pop for the Bills, and that's going to be another stop. The Bills are catching fire here on defense and on offense. If we look at the player count, how many players do the Bills have, and how many do the Steelers? Is it an even matchup? Is it 5 versus 5, or what is exactly coming on here?
As of
Because
right
of course you
now,
can't
it
count
is
yourself.
6v4. Buffalo having 6 players, Buffalo having 4. Uh, from what I've seen, and I can check the rules right now, I believe that could lead to a possibility of a rematch. But I'm not very sure. Rule
Yeah,
7 of the rule book in this league says you can only force a 5v6 or a 6v7. Doesn't give any results about, you know, having less players. What happens if there are less players? If anything, I believe it's on the FO and the coach and the players just not being organized, just not being ready. In this case,